So we just spoke on a panel about engaging your fans in social marketing. Can you talk a little bit about best practices of engaging your fans?
Sure. Well, we on that wide-ranging panel that we were on, a lot of stuff was covered, but there was actually one little piece that I wanted to jump in there, but there were like 6 panelists, so I didn't have an opportunity. So this is what I wanted to share with you. The old model, sort of like the old major label traditional way of communicating with fans, was one directional. It was like making announcements. It's like the artist or the label would say, "New album available. They're now on tour." So it was a one-way communication. If you imagine like the artist or the label is up here communicating down to the fan, and that's actually also a similar way that independent artists sometimes when they only think that they just need to shout to people and announce things, it's a one-way type of communication. So you hear a lot these days about engagement. So engagement is when the fan can also communicate with the artist. So if you imagine the artist up here, if we could do a little graph, and the fan is down here. It's a two-way type of communication where the artist is making announcements or asking questions or engaging the fan in some way, and the audience is able to respond and even have a conversation back and forth with the artist. So that's a big improvement, and that's one of the I guess one of the advantages that independent artists have, especially early in their careers. They have the availability and the time, I guess, to be able to communicate with their small but growing fan base, and it's really crucial. Now there's another third piece of that. So you get the artist and the fan are engaging with each other, but there's another when you really get things fired up and in gear, the fans can also communicate with each other. So now I want you to envision a triangle. The artist is up here, a fan is down here, another fan over here. So now it's like a three-way communication, back and forth to the artist to the fan, but also fan to fan. Now why is that important? Because the best bands, they create a sense of community. Like if you go to a live show, the Grateful Dead is a great example of that. You know the type of people are going to hang out. It's like a friendly environment. You start to make friends, and you can communicate with each other. You stay in touch, after the show. So ideally, that's what you want: is not only be able to communicate with your fans, have them be able to reach out to you, but create forums and I guess structures online where they can also talk to each other and they can spread the word to their friends. So that's kind of like just a little principle, little diagram there, I guess a skeleton, I suppose, that you can think of when you're creating your kind of online strategy. I hope it makes engagement a little bit easier to understand.
All right, so I'm a band, or I'm not a band. I'm a musician. So I've got I've got a Twitter profile. I got Facebook. I'm using CD Baby's music store for Facebook. I've got all these great tools, and I've got a website from which I'm sending email and everything. How am I getting fans talking to each other?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So on like Facebook fan pages, I guess one way that they can do that is within the comments. So you can post something. Let me know what you think of this new video. And so quite often they're responding to your initial question, but you'll probably notice this if you've ever used Facebook very much at all, even a personal profile. You'll notice that your friends are also talking to each other and responding to each other's comments. You can do that on blogs too, and probably if you really want to do it right, you could create a forum. In fact, there's a website called Ning, Ning.com, that allows you to create your own little like social networking site. And you can make it public or private. And one of the things that you can do there is to create a forum. If you really have a big fan base, you can make like signing up for your email list. It gives you access to like the fan forum where you have like a behind a closed door way of a special community, But probably making it public for most artists is the best way.
But a lot of what you're saying is stuff that's already endemic to the platforms itself. There's commenting in WordPress where people can and sometimes do comment on each other, and on Facebook walls. But is there anything that you as an artist can do to encourage that?
Yeah, well, I think the answer is part of the question. The tool is there and the structures are there on these different platforms like a Facebook fan page, but you have to encourage it. So you have to ask. That means I referenced earlier in the panel calls to action, CTAs, and that means when you ask people to do something, and it can be buy the CD now or subscribe to this page, to my YouTube channel. But in this case, you're saying, please comment, let me know your thoughts. I'm trying to think of other ways you could have fans co-create with you or collaborate with each other to come up with slogans for T-shirts or artwork or whatever. So it's really in the way that you use the tool, the questions that you ask, and actually asking them to communicate with each other. Sometimes people just need to be told what to do. So asking them to do that in a fun and make it fun and creative too.